What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man?
DJ?
Are
we good on mics? We check?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay,
I don't
good.
need to check them. They're good.
All right, sweet.
I'm checking it right here. I think we're good. Yeah.
Too late then if it's not.
Oh, man. So what were you saying?
Oh, no. So I was talking about we were thinking about, brands of tequilas to bring in. I was going to get that 818, that Kardashian brand, because apparently, well, first of all, I don't like celebrity branded.
Right.
Like the one with, what's his name?
George Clooney.
George Clooney's brand. I mean, which is okay. It's decent. Yeah. Now I do like the Rock the way he did it. He found one and then he made it.
Well, he was transparent about it.
Yeah. So
he was
really
like,
enjoyed
"This is
that.
what I'm using." Yeah. Right. It's not like, "Hey, this is my brand," and there's no backstory on it.
Yeah, but apparently they use, I guess, whenever they bake the tequila, or they actually use whatever they don't use for the tequila, they use it to help make bricks, the clay. I guess like a binder for the clay. I guess the leaves they shred them up, and they make a binder for clay to build homes, which is pretty cool. I mean, I thought that's pretty cool. Now I'm not sure if that's just hey, we're going to throw it away anyway, so you can have it, or if it's hey, let's make a contribution. So.
No, and I think that's one thing we talked about one time is that the celebrity tequilas and how we tend to try to stay away, but then with this market, I think it's so oversaturated too that sometimes you don't even know who's involved behind the tequilas, and there's even stuff out there that you might think like, oh, I'm not endorsing this celebrity tequila because it's these rich fuckers, but for all you know, you're drinking a tequila that's created by even more rich fuckers that just aren't as famous, that absolutely have no idea about.
Well, I picked one earlier, or I was going to grab one, and I started looking at it, and it was imported in New York, and then I started looking at it, and it was imported by Stoli. So Stoli's actually producing the bottle, but it's from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, shit, I'm not getting this one because I don't know where it's coming from. At least everything we're drinking all the time, we know where it's coming from. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what are we drinking today?
Well, right now we have, go for it.
That's Camarena, and it's their Anejo, and I mean, it's not a crazy expensive bottle. It's probably like a $35 bottle that you can pick up anywhere, really. It's a very mass-produced tequila. I had never tried it, and obviously, for those that don't know a lot about tequila, when you mention the Camarena family in tequila, that is royalty. Okay. But I don't know. I didn't do the research on it. I don't know how this works. Like I said, it's a very mass-produced tequila. Yeah. Now they've split up into so many distilleries and so many farms that who knows if one of the original members even has a say or a hand in this.
When I started drinking regularly, Camarena brand was one I got, mostly because it wasn't expensive, but it was very good. It was 100% blue agave, and it had a nice flavor, and I liked it. I liked the reposado, and I liked the silver, so I really enjoyed that. And then I was actually at Cuban liquor yesterday, and I hate Jose Cuervo. Okay, I've never been a Jose Cuervo fan, but I've seen, you've seen the Jose Cuervo bottle, brand, $300-$400 bottles,
the select stuff,
the stuff. So I saw this, and this is the 100% agave, and most of the time their stuff is made with blue agave. It's very rarely, 100%. But this is their Anejo tequila, and I got it because it said it was is aged in new American oak and in Irish single malt whiskey barrels.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. Yeah.
And so for Cuervo, I thought that was pretty unique. And I thought, well, you know what? Let's try this. And then, and it was only $19.
Damn.
And I was like, oh, wow. I almost bought 2 bottles. But if it sucked, then I'd be, I have 2 bottles of it. And then I bought this brand I love. This is that Hussong's. Have you ever had this brand?
I actually have never
I believe you got.
I got you a silver bottle of this, I think, one time. Either the reposado or the silver like that. But this stuff is really, really good. And this is their Anejo. They have another one called the Platinum, but it's really just a Cristalino. So I prefer, and they had this in a Cristalino too, but I prefer the color. Yeah. I like the color of it, so that's why I wanted that one. So I'm excited about this one. I like it too because it's like a little Mexican whiskey jar. It's like a little, I like that.
Little clay bottle.
Yeah, it's all clay, so.
Yeah.
And what'd you bring?
I have Cortillejo Anejo.
Oh, I've been waiting. I've not had that yet.
Have you not? I've not had extra Anejo. You haven't had Anejo?
No, I haven't had the extra Anejo.
So you've been drinking just Reposado
Just Reposado the whole time.
Holy shit.
Yeah, okay. All the blue bottles.
This is his favorite. Okay. So
I'm excited
his favorite
about
brand
that
anyways. And Coromino, I guess. This is a Cristalino Reposado.
Okay.
So
How'd you find that one?
I found that at our little spot over there in Benton.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so we're gonna see if that. I mean, that last time we had that 1800 Cristalino was pretty good, you know, for their brand. So
and see, and that's
I don't think we touched base too much last time on the Cristalino. So they basically kind of filter it out through whatever. I mean, so it does see barrel action, and I guess it's in some way or other. I guess it's filtered in some way.
They take that color out.
Yeah, and I think like we kind of mentioned behind the scenes. I don't think if we actually mentioned it on the podcast about the effects that it has on flavor.
Yeah,
like we didn't know.
Yeah,
you know how it reacted to that, and obviously the one we had last time was pretty damn good though.
Yeah, I just finished it off last night.
Yeah,
I just finished it off last night.
I tell you, last time, my God, my son listened to it. He was laughing. He goes, "Dad, that was hilarious. That one was so funny." But I mean, I drank good on that one. I was telling my wife, I mean, like when we took the picture, and then I don't really even remember walking down the stairs, and I had the Casa Dragones. I had put some in a little water bottle, right?
Yeah.
So we're driving home, and I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm like, man, I need some water. I got the bottle, I went like that. I'm like, that's not water. But it was so good.
Yeah.
But I mean, I felt like I felt like Joe Rogan when Snoop showed up on his podcast. He was higher than he'd ever been. That's probably the most I've ever had. That was just, you know, so salute.
No, man. Well, I think we're just gonna. I mean, at this point, I think we're just gonna keep doing this thing, man. I feel like we're getting a lot of good feedback, and you don't like it?
It is strong.
Yeah,
I like it.
It
man.
is.
I just didn't like it. It's just.
I may have already had a warm up before y'all got here because I was like, I need to warm my palate up a little bit.
Oh, that's why he's over there blinking.
Yeah.
That's why he looks like he had a stroke. He's over.
No, it is a. It has some burn to it for sure.
Yeah, it does. It's not. It is mass produced.
Yes,
you can definitely tell it's mass produced, and they're like, okay, that's a good flavor's good enough. Let's get it out the door.
Yeah,
but it's got a nice little. It's got legs. Got nice little legs on it. I mean, that's sticking.
But again, you know, I think like on these kinds of things, you can also relate to like the quality of something to the price point. Like for the price point, it's not, you know. A bad tequila. Is there better stuff out there for that price point? I'm sure, but for what you're spending and what you're getting, and I think it's you know, fair deal.
I would rarely mix an añejo with something, but I would mix this one with something. I would definitely mix with something.
Yeah, I've caught myself here recently going out to eat and stuff and just getting like 2 shots in a glass and not doing the mixed drink thing anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I believe I'm becoming somewhat of a real tequila drinker now.
A tequila snob? Is that what you want to call it?
Yeah, something like that. Definitely not a connoisseur of sorts or anything. So we're gonna go with this Cuervo.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this Cuervo real quick. That one's kind of strong. I need something a little bit. And go back to it and see what's going on with that. So how you been?
I'm good. I've been good, man.
We met your daughter when DJ and I were
at
met your daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, have fun with that one.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm trying. Every day is a new experience. She's right now. She's at the beach with some friends or whatever, and you know, her mom or whatever, and I'm still finishing up. And so I get a message from her yesterday. It's like, "Can you send me some money?" And I'm like, "So you went to the beach with no fucking money?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so then you know, I got to have a talk with like my wife, and it's like, "Well." Again, y'all got to fill me in on stuff, please.
What's up?
Yeah.
Well, what's been going on, man? You so we were just talking about this a minute ago. So you got. I put a lot in there.
Oh man,
I don't know. I feel like the darker it is, the more I pour.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be disappointed.
I'm not. Okay. Yeah. What's going on with the brewery, bro? Y'all got some shit brewing.
Yeah.
Literally.
The brewery. It's been busy. I mean, like same old stuff, and it's just kind of. It's been hard to kind of, not hard, but you know, you always, that grind of always having to come up with new things, keep things fresh, you know, keep people walking through those doors. So,
do you feel you have to do that though? Do you feel like you have to consistently keep it new, or do you find that people are like, you know what, I found a beer I like, that's why I come here?
I think it's a little of both. I think, you know, you don't necessarily have to have something crazy every month, but I think people do appreciate it, you know, and it does create kind of like that hype of getting people back to.
I like what y'all are doing. I like that every week. I'm like, shit, what's he doing this weekend? I'm
Yeah.
always looking like, what's the release?
Right,
what's the new thing? Y'all always have some new shit going on. No one else does that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that it may be abroad, but not here. You know what I mean?
But it's good for traffic.
Right.
It's good to drive traffic in and stuff like that.
Well, and also, we're kind of in an obscure part of town. So you have to kind of do things to draw people to that certain part of town. I mean, like next week we're doing a comedy night, which, I'm pretty excited about. I have never heard any of these dudes' jokes.
Me either, and I'm really looking forward to this too, because I haven't seen any good live comedy since it was probably the beginning of last year it might have been the end of 2020.
Didn't you go see Joe Rogan?
Well, yeah, I've seen that, but I'm talking about...
You're talking about local comedy.
Intimate comedy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Intimate comedy. I haven't seen these since I was in Dallas, and the wife and I were going to go do something, and it was closed, and then there ended up being a comedy show, but it was still kind of post-pandemic shit.
Right.
So they were, the mask thing, the lines. And, but it was really good, man. And she actually saw it online before I did.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Did you see this shit?" I was like,
Yeah. Why are we finding out this online?
Yeah.
You got our text number. You got our number. We have a group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, anyways, like a local group of comedians, they kind of approached me about it, and I was like, man, I think this is a great idea. And like I said, I've never heard any of them jokes, but they all seem like super interested. Like they're all super like this has been like one of the first times, or like one of the couple times where I can say that you link up with somebody and they're promoting shit just as like
just
I
as
feel
hard as you do.
Like I feel like I'm kind of slacking on my end, because these dudes are like making videos. They're out here like pushing this shit, man. So I hope it's a good turnout for them, and just like I said, something different to bring.
We definitely need.
Well, you're doing a really good culture mix there. So like the stuff you do, like you have the Hispanic food draw there, that you have the vendors come there and do that, and then you have the barbecue draw, dude. Holy shit! Like Bad Wolf and Sunbird. Like I missed that. I was so pissed I missed that weekend. But like the hottest day of the year too.
Yeah, dude, it was.
I know. I was out in the
How did y'all stuff go?
We had 13 competitors. Great show.
Yeah.
Good turnout. Sold plenty of food. Did great. Teams joined, but it was miserable.
Dude,
it was like 127 degrees in the parking lot.
Same thing.
Entire day.
It was the same thing with us over there, dude. We were burning, but we were struggling to keep the inside of the brewery like somewhat cool, just because so many people were going in and out.
Yeah.
But Sunbird and Bad Wolf, before they even opened, or they said they were going to start serving it too, by 1:45, there was a line from the truck to like the back gate.
Shit.
Of people standing in the fucking sun for barbecue.
Waiting on barbecue.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it was wild. But I think that's one thing, like what I saw from that day is like stuff that I want to like keep doing. I feel like regardless of like with food, like I'm not, I know food. I love food. I consider myself a pretty good like home chef or whatever. But being able to bring in people like that are like really like masters of their craft, and get them to collaborate on something, I want to keep doing more shit like that, like bringing people in that can draw a crowd per se.
All right, Porus, I want to know what you think of the smell.
It's good, man. What you think?
Dude, it's almost like syrup.
Yeah, smell.
It is sweet.
It's got a nice, but it doesn't taste sugary. It doesn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
But is there like a saltiness also too when you first taste it, or something that's not?
It's that Irish single malt barrel, dude. I'm telling you, it's something to it.
The
right
whiskey,
there.
Irish whiskey.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's it. I wonder if it was
'Cause
like
I can
a rye
taste-
whiskey barrel or something.
Yeah, because there's a bit of it in the beginning. Yeah. It's a little salty, but then it gets warm and it's got that nice. It's really
Well,
nice.
this is definitely not what you would expect from Jose Cuervo, for sure.
No,
So,
and for $19 a bottle, I was like,
you should have bought
try
all
that.
of them.
I know, I might go back.
I'm gonna go back and get
Yeah,
that.
that like this special, not a clearance, but like wholesale lots or stuff like that. And,
I saw that last time I was in there, and that's when that Guy Fieri thing was in there.
oh, was it?
Remember? And then
Oh,
we talked
about-
about
yeah,
it in
that's
the
right.
podcast. So then when I went back, I was like, I'm going to get that Guy Fieri bottle just for
shits, yeah.
But then it was gone. But that shit was like $5. I should have just gotten it.
Yeah, you should. If it was horrible,
I could have used it as starter fluid.
I
It was
regret
bad.
that
you
now.
can give it away or something,
Yeah,
bro.
I regret that now. So
Hell yeah.
we'll see.
No, this is pretty smooth, man.
Yeah.
But no, I think that you guys are doing a job of mixing up culture is extremely important, and this
Right.
town is horrible at doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nothing against it where we're at and what we're doing, you know, but like you know as well as I do, growing up here, and Ben knows this for being here for the past how many years you been
God
here?
knows how long.
20 years.
In dog years or human years, because it's.
But like
It's
we've gotten a bad rap of everyone kind of secluding to their own selves,
Right.
you know, to their own cliques, and like so. What you guys are doing are bringing different types of people into an area, and mingling with your already existing, you know, customer base. So it's cool,
and you have the space.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's one of the things that I've been most proud of that we've been able to create. And I don't say this like boastfully or me like showing off. Like I legitimately believe that we are one of the most diverse, you know, as far as, you know, the scene goes, or like environments for people to come and hang out, as far as the people that we attract. And I've even had this conversation with, you know, whether it be like local politicians here lately, where it's like, I've created this environment towards the fact that you know, any walks of life, regardless of who they are, can come here and have a beer and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we're just going to have a good time. And luckily, you know, I think that is what it has become, where you have so many people from so many different walks of life that can come in that tap room, and then they just feel comfortable with the environment that they're in.
Yeah, we see people with baby strollers and walking around, and I think that's good because I mean, I like that better because you have a less tendency to get shit-faced drunk when you've got your family with you.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And then hopefully somebody's a designated driver, but you spend an afternoon with your family.
Yes.
Well, it's not a bar.
Yeah.
It's not a bar
Exactly.
atmosphere. It's not a bar atmosphere. It's like you show up and you're like, you're always going to have a good food vendor.
Right.
So you always know you're going to get some good food. And if you want, and you guys are creating new beer every single fucking week. And like, okay, you have a beer or two. Or you bring someone to drive you or whatever. You and the whole family. Like, Ben and I were cooking there a couple months or a couple weeks ago. And a guy was coming out there and he had a kid in a stroller.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, that's the thing.
Cool.
And that's kind of one of the things we've had to break through at times is like, you know, that barrier of people knowing like, we are not a bar. Like, we're a family-friendly environment. Yeah. Like, honestly, like to this point, we've been open over a year. I've had to cut one person off where I was like, okay, you are like...
Was your wife mad about that when you did it?
There's times I should have cut myself off, yes. But no, like, you know, like that's one of those things where I think people come into that kind of environment, they respect it. Like it's more of a chill atmosphere.
That's it. Yes.
It's not you know, a bar per se or whatever.
Yeah, I think that I had to bring that up, dude, because I feel like that, you know, I was excited about the comedy show.
Yeah.
Like it continued to have things that excite me, you know, like that's hard to do with anyone, you know? And you got to think, here's another thing. So many people, and that's just not in this local area because everyone that's listening is not from here. So where we're at, North Louisiana, so many people may grow up here and never leave here.
Right.
But you're able to go somewhere like what you have and experience a mix of culture that they would have to go somewhere like a Dallas-Fort Worth to or Austin, Texas or something to actually feel that vibe.
Yeah.
They can get it right here.
Yeah.
I had some of that coming in after that. Whoop.
Oh, you didn't finish that one off? Oh, man.
No.
I chuckled earlier when you said about the like never left part because that like in our group chat with me and my friends, that's like one of our like kind of like inside jokes, but not like someone will say something about a certain place and we're like, well, it never left. So
yeah,
exactly.
You know, like you don't know that there's a better world out there. Which I think like if we're speaking on that kind of stuff too, like I mean, there is a better world out there. Like let's not mistake.
Of course, not of course.
I think the thing is that like we need more people like us that are willing to take those parts of the good things they see from other places and are willing to bring them back home so that you can create that culture for people here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like what they're doing here where we're filming this podcast, like that's an amazing thing for this city. Like I think we need more of that so that we are able to keep people here. I guess like, you know, we have a huge issue with like our younger generations that go off to college and never come back. But why would they? There's not much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
no, I mean it's happened to probably half of the. It's funny because when we had that reunion, I was a year after you, but even when I had that reunion, I relate to you because we're within a year of each other. So many people came in from out of town that like one guy's out working for the FBI now, and all these people moved to all these other places. I'm like shit, like. Yeah, like they never came back, and I don't blame them, you know. Right. But now it's like things are happening. You know, things are happening that should have happened 10 years ago.
Right.
But man, I don't know.
And but I mean, that's kind of like my argument with people. Sometimes it's like, why not come back and be that change. And I get it from a financial standpoint sometimes too. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, the money that you're getting, you know, somewhere else as opposed to Shreveport-Bossier. I mean, there's no comparison.
Well, you
but,
can.
The mentality has to change around here first before that happens.
Yeah, and I think it's a collective community thing. You know what I mean? Like, someone has to be the pioneers. Like what you guys are doing there, what Bo and them are doing down here. Bo and I were just talking about this earlier. He's like, dude, I know everyone's not coming down here for the food, but everyone wants to go somewhere on a Friday or Saturday night and do something. Right. And if I have the atmosphere for it, and I can feed them while they're here,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, they don't want this food all the time, you know? But hey, they're here to party and drink and have a good time, and then we have food. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, this scene down here is wild, man. They got a hell of a thing going on. So,
a lot of it too is the local and government making it very difficult.
Here we go.
To do anything unless they get their cut.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, look, you know what? If I'm making $1 million, you can have 20% of it. I got no problem. But when I'm making $1,000 and you want 20% of it, you know, and not only that, you know, just to employ somebody in this state, just to have somebody working for you we're taxed unbelievably. So I don't blame people for leaving. But I can also understand why they don't want to come back until it's changed, until it's like, okay, we've made this. Okay, for example, the movie industry, okay? We had so much up here after Katrina, okay? We had so much that, you know what? They got those tax breaks. They got all this stuff. It was going good. It was very profitable. A lot of people were employed. And then what did the governor do? Well, we're going to cut it out. We're losing too much money on those tax breaks. Well, guess what? You lost all the money now.
Yeah.
You lost all the money that everybody made helping them, and now they're in Georgia.
Well, that's the big issue with any industry. It's like people they look at everything from accounting purposes as saying, okay, we're in the black here, we're in the red here, whatever it may be. But like cutting costs, it's always a matter of the law. We've talked about this shit before, but like the larger you get, the more it's about cutting costs. But then you don't realize what's your real bottom line. Okay,
right.
Is my real bottom line a profit margin, or is my real bottom line creating something that's ebb and flow, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's always been an issue, and I think it's an issue everywhere.
Well, if you didn't make money, would you do what you do?
Would
you do it for free? I mean, I know you're doing it for free now, but
I mean, I'm kind of.
I mean, would you
have a day job?
Would you do it for free endlessly?
I don't know, man. And like I said, I think that goes back to what we spoke on previously, where it's like, you know, certain people, they have these projections or they have a goal of where they need to be at this point. And, you know, we have that. But like me personally, like I don't have that. Like I know that the job that I have now, the job that my wife has, where my wife is headed with her career, me, I'm kind of stagnant. I will admit that is something that bothers me sometimes, but it is what it is. You know, provide a good living for my family. Like as a family, like if this were the end, like we're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're not gonna be, you know, super rich. So I think that's also allowed me to look at business from a different perspective, where I don't depend on it. You know, but that hustle's still there. It's still a labor of love. Like that passion's still there. But then again, there's two schools of thought. You know, like DJ said, like we've had this conversation before. Like when this is what you got to do, you fucking
it's different. It changes.
I mean, I lived all over the world, and I've never seen a good old boys club like I've seen here.
Yeah,
and I lived in Italy with the mafia. Okay, and I've seen here a greater what's the word I'm on? I've seen a greater abuse of power in the South, in Louisiana. I mean, statewide, than I've seen anywhere else, and I don't understand. Because there is a talent here. There's the ability for us to do very well in this state. But it's almost like the second we start moving forward, the second we start get going, somebody wants a piece of it. Somebody wants to come in, and it's just like the Chinese making a T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know what? Well, guess what? You can come brew your beer 20 minutes across the river, and we're only going to take 8% of what you do instead of 15%.
Yeah.
You know? So then it becomes like, okay, well, you know what? And I can just, I mean, so you start thinking about all these things, but it's to the point where you go, okay, I understand we all have to pay our fair share of taxes. We have to pay our fair share of everything. As long as we see where that goes, as long as we see improvement, where we live, in our infrastructure, in our streets, in our roads.
Right.
You know, as
Right.
long as we see that, I don't have a problem with taxation. It's just here. It's like, what? Where?
Well, I think we're behind the times, and I think that at this point now, society's shifted to a more value driven. I think we really are, even though it's more your attention span's shorter.
Yeah.
So like it's harder to get someone's attention and keep it. It's harder to retain clients because there's so many new competitors popping up. No matter what industry you're in, whatever. But I think that people at the end of the day, especially when there's so much going on, they respect value.
Yeah.
And then if you have enough people that are instilling value in their craft in one area, then it's eventually going to bleed over, I think. And I think that may help us, where we're at now, because everyone's always like, well, Louisiana's always like, where we're at right now is like 5 years behind where, say, somewhere progressive in Texas is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it's always been that way, but with the combination of technology and social media and everything, everything's full-fledged attention span. We have access to everything now. We're like, what are these people doing in this area that's great? How can I implement it here?
And that is a great point. And my business partner Sam, he loves to say that. He said it kind of gives us a preview into what's going on.
Yeah.
And we get it all the time at the brewery with like certain stuff that we do. We're like, where'd y'all think about doing this? And it's like, fucking breweries around the country been doing this shit. And I want to let people know, like, this isn't new.
Yeah,
like,
it's not my idea.
We didn't invent
well,
this.
I asked you that.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, holy shit, they got these slushy thing where they're making fucking beer slushies or whatever. Like, I'm like, okay, this is cool. And I already saw it somewhere else. I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
And it's so like, that tells you how uninformed I am.
Right. And then we just kind of live in this bubble. But like I said, I mean, we can get off politics and taxes and stuff here soon, but like I said, like I've always said, like I don't give a fuck if people are Republican, Democrat. Like when it comes to this stuff, it's like we do need growth in this town, and I think that the government, regardless, I always think politics is the dirtiest game that there is. But like I look at these people, like candidates and stuff, like how can you help grow this city? Like how can you facilitate growth? Because growth isn't a bad thing. Like I think sometimes if you have like the more businesses that you come, they can also grow other businesses.
Well, those people have to not see everything as a threat.
Right.
Most people are doing something so long that whenever things start changing, it's a fucking threat. Like at one point in time, there was no car.
Right.
Do you think the motherfucker that was shoeing horses was scared shitless when they saw the first car come down the road? Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. They're like, holy shit. But they didn't. If they didn't fucking adjust their business model, pivot, then they're fucked. You know what I mean? It's just like, I mean, it's every single industry. It doesn't matter what it is. There's no favoritism. There's no fucking segregation. There's no race. There's no political agenda in fucking technology or anything. There's not. Like it's just constant evolving.
Right.
But yes, it's good that you're doing what you're doing. It's good that we're moving forward. It's good you guys are accommodating. But you know what I do like is like, for example, they're doing their event at your place, okay, which is good because there was a comedy club tried to open up about probably maybe 12 years ago or something like that. And I had actually gone over because
which one was that?
It was over there on Texas Street on the other side of the bridge. It was like a little
smaller taste of this one.
Some little comedy club. And I had gone to kind of audition for like an MC kind of thing, for.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, it was a long time ago when I still had dreams. And the fact that there's very low risk in doing what they're doing at your place, that's great.
Yeah.
When you have to pay overhead, when you have to pay the door, when you have to pay your people, when you have to pay all that stuff, that's when it becomes. Okay, if we lose, how much do we lose?
Right.
Whereas, you know what, a place like yours can hold an event type of thing like that. You can partner with it. That's a great opportunity.
That's a really good
then
point.
they don't take as big a risk.
That's a really good point because, like, if you look in the layout of.
Salud. Oh, you guys all have this songs?
Yeah.
Well, songs, yeah.
Cheers, guys.
If you look in the layout of comedy, it's like most of those venues. Could barely pay anyone, if anything, $20 for an act, for a 5-minute act. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, what you guys are doing is great. You're going to sell tickets ahead of time.
Yep.
Know what your overhead is going to be. You know what I mean? And you're bringing the talent in. It works good. What you were saying, that's a really good point because I don't think we can't support a comedy venue here.
No.
Yeah.
Like, we just can't. And so many places can't. But it's I think comedy is getting its second wind.
It is.
I feel like COVID, when they were trying to do all that shit remote, and Rogan's talked about this shit too, but like they're trying to do all that stuff remote, and it just really didn't do it for people. Now we're back in person.
Right.
Everyone got a new breath of fresh air, and everyone enjoys like making small of things. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Ben's great.
And
at it.
I think podcasts too in general
That
have kind
helps,
of
too.
brought it back
that
too,
helps.
because you realize like how funny some of these motherfuckers are.
And you can't take everything literally.
Right,
you can't
right.
take it seriously. And comedy's taken a big hit with social media and people getting pissed about what somebody said. I mean, I'm not going to say it all because we've all seen it. We've all heard it. People trying to cancel Dave Chappelle. Good luck. It's
not happening.
It's not going to happen. No, it's not. And the problem is the children in Toys R Us who don't get their toys are the ones screaming the loudest right now. But the rest of us are just walking by going, what's your problem?
Yeah.
If you don't like it, go.
Yeah.
Don't just because you don't like it, that's fine.
Well,
It doesn't mean I have to do something about it.
Yeah. Well, if this isn't your world, don't walk in it and try to talk shit.
Yeah.
If you're not educated on how this works, like don't come in here with your opinions. You know what I mean? Like, or don't try to attack someone because.
What'd you think?
I haven't tried it yet. I'm about to.
That's
What'd you think?
delicious. It is sweet.
It doesn't have the
it is sweet.
the flavors
Holy
from the
shit.
barrels.
You've had this one before?
No, I've never had the añejo. I've had the silver and the reposado.
That's good, man.
It's
sweet.
really
good.
nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I think this is probably 30, maybe 40 something, maybe $40 for that.
Really?
That's not bad. Yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
that one's real good. And I was going to say, what we need to do, maybe I'll do it next time, is I need to go back to all our tequila talks, and I need to print out like a picture of each one of the bottles we've done, and we need to keep a chart.
Yeah.
I know we need to.
And then
I
that
try
way-
to remember, but eventually it's going to overlap.
And then that way we'll have because you ever watch Top Gear and they had the board for
Yeah.
the cars, cold and hot, sexy and ugly
Yeah.
type. So we should do that with the tequila, so we can kind of say, okay, compared
do
to
it.
this
Yeah.
is that, and that's this. But this is a good one.
It really is good.
What was that?
Yeah,
That's what I'm about. Yeah, except the lost episode. That's what I'm saying.
We do have a
So
lost
even when we
episode.
don't remember it, we can go
That's
back.
why I was going to go back and say, well, how was
Yeah.
that one? But
No,
this
yeah,
was
dude.
really
I was
nice.
gonna say too, like back to the comedy night thing. Like when these guys approached me, I had no idea. Like I asked them, I was like, "Is there a big comedy scene around here?" They're like, "Well, there's a couple places, but nothing too crazy."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I'm out of the scene. I don't want to just like jump into this thing." And
Right.
they wanted to do a show for free. Like let's do a free show. And like from my perspective, I'm like, well, if you value your talent, what you're doing, we need to charge because,
Yeah.
like, I'll be honest with you, I was like, if it was free, we could have drawn a bigger crowd. I'm sure.
For sure.
But
But you
then,
don't want-
but then the next show that we do, and we do charge because we are drawing this crowd. Now it's going to seem unexpected.
Well, and the thing is too is like if you've ever been to a really good intimate comedy show, and I'm
Yes.
talking either a small venue like 100 seats,
Yeah.
I'm talking a mid-sized venue like 400 seats.
Yeah.
You don't want people stepping over people.
Right.
You don't want people bumping into people going to get a beer and they
Right.
can't pay attention to what's
Yes.
you know what I mean? So you want the people that are paying, they know what to expect.
Yeah.
Like if people have never been to a comedy show, they're probably not going to run to do this, but if they do respect comedy or they watch it Netflix specials or whatever, they're like, "Oh shit, I can go to a comedy show for $10."
Yeah.
And I get a drink.
Yep.
And I can, so I mean, I think it's great. I think it's
Yeah,
great.
no,
Like,
I think it's cool, and also kind of like these group of guys that are putting it together, and they're all like local aspiring comedians, and I mean, I can't relate to that, but I was once like a local aspiring businessman, so it's like, I kind of want to help them out
Very
too,
good.
and let them know, like, hey, like, I want you to know that like we have skin in the game, also, like I'm not using you to make a profit off of you, like that. You get that drink, and that's coming out of me, and the other money that goes to them.
Right.
So I think it's a good thing for them to kind of explore different avenues.
Ben, have you ever tested your hand at comedy?
I did one in Hawaii one time when I think even before I met Cheryl. I don't remember, but I had done a couple little things, but it was mostly like an open mic type of thing,
I think that's the next step. I think you do this a couple times and then you do open the mic, man.
Yeah,
because I think there's so many people out there that we all know that funny person. If you can talk that person into getting there,
it's different too because like I consider myself a funny person, but I don't think I could ever.
Well, you always were growing up, you know,
Yeah.
but there's that type of person like that has this dude has one-liners all the time.
Yeah,
I know you'd be good at it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but see, that's a whole different like world. So that's why like I said, I'm very like I don't know any of these comics. Like I've never heard them, so it's like going to be my first time too. And I'm like, are they funny or are they like funny?
Yeah,
like
I always felt, laughter is the best medicine. And like my family doesn't like. Well, my family, my children, my wife, they like my comedy. My mom and my dad didn't like my comedy so much because I was always like, not that I wouldn't take things seriously, but I wouldn't take things as seriously as they would.
Yeah.
And I was like, y'all, calm down. Hey, it's gonna happen. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Even if it's bad, enjoy what's happening to you. Find the humor in it. Find something funny about it. Because if you don't, you're just gonna stay Catholic and be upset your whole life. So, but that's but really, all comedy is observation.
Dude, I had never been to a comedy show up to like 2 months ago. We went and saw Theo Vaughn in Dallas.
Oh fuck, dude!
Theo, man, that's crazy.
When I tell you, like, because that's like even like comedy, like stand up episodes that I've watched or stuff that I've listened to. I'll be 100% honest. It's very hard for like comedians, for me to find a comedian that I'm like, this motherfucker is.
Yes.
Of course, there's the Chappelles and shit like that.
Yeah.
They make everybody laugh. Like Joe Rogan. Like, I hope he never hears this, but like I love Joe Rogan. I love his podcast, but he is not fucking funny to me. I'm sorry. Yeah. That is true.
Yeah.
But like Theo, like the first 20 minutes of his set. When I tell you I was fucking crying, I was crying. I don't know if it was like the $12 16-ounce beers I'd been pounding, but that motherfucker was funny.
Well, dude, what's funny with him is he's a storyteller, right?
Yeah,
and like he's lived such an interesting life that I gotta say probably 80% of these jokes he's telling is a story.
It's got to be bullshit. Yeah,
I don't know. I think some of it's true, and I think some of it, but how many stories do you fucking have?
So I got a buddy named, J.R. Fuller, that caveman?
Yeah.
He actually met Theo Vaughn one time, right? And this was like, he said, they were down in Baton Rouge, and this was like when Theo Vaughn was fresh off of Road Rules.
Okay.
Like fresh, like wasn't a comedian or nothing.
Right.
And he said Theo Vaughn was in this club, and he's like, I don't know who this weird motherfucker with this weird hair was walking around. So he came over to JR, asked him for a puff of his cigarette. Yeah. And JR said, I'll give you a cigarette. And Theo looked at him, and he goes, I only allow myself 6 puffs a day. And it was like dead fucking serious, dude. And I was like, okay, so this dude is really like this. Like he's like, and he was like, and JR says, he's like, what, are you serious? Like, yeah, man, he's not trying to cut back. And I was like, what? Like, and so, I can see it. I can see him saying some shit like that, and, but no, I've grown into like listening to more comedy kind of stuff. So.
Well, I think as you get older, like you start appreciating more shit. When you're young, you're just like Cat Williams, Pimp Chronicles. You know what I mean? Like, shit. It's like, but as you get older, you're like, okay, I see like the relation and everything. And like, I think the like Theo's stuff, like the storytelling comedy. I'll tell you who opened for Rogan a couple months ago was amazing. Was fucking Tony Hinchcliffe. Dude,
Tony Hinchcliffe. He's good.
Holy
I like
shit,
Tony.
he was great.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones, man. And I'm excited to see some local good ones because it excites me. Like when we saw those guys, when I was talking about the like bright, fresh post-pandemic, they were all local guys from the scene there around Dallas, and they were great. A lot of great stuff. And I think it's like there's a lot of people that follow these comics and I've heard talks of this too, like before, is like, you get a following, so then everything you say is funny, right? Yeah. And then it takes the art away. But like when you're getting these intimate shows, like you got fresh crowds, your shit's got to be fucking good.
Yeah.
You're not filling the stadium and saying, okay, well, I have a following. Now it's like you got a fresh crowd. Your shit better be funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, with me, I like every comic.
Yeah.
I like all of them.
Yeah.
Now, doesn't mean I love all of them. Doesn't mean I like everything they do. Anthony Jeselnik. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in a while.
Love him. Love his delivery. I love how he talks. I love how he does it. Like my favorite one. And I always, every time I hear something funny, I'll tell him, to my wife or my son or something. That's like the one he said. I just got, I got the worst call of my life today. And life is funny, actually, no, excuse me. I messed up. So never mind. Forget that. No, he said, I got the best call of my life today. He said, but life is funny. Sometimes you get it. Sometimes things change. And my sister called me. She goes, hey, Dad's in the hospital. He's like, yeah, I know. I heard. That was the call. That was the best call in his life.
Yeah.
So, so a lot of it is when you know that the comedy you have to some of the comedy you have to search for like okay, where's it at? Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's like authentic, like you were talking about Theo Von. You know that's him. Like you said, like this motherfucker's really like that.
Yeah.
Then it's like a fucking Larry the Cable Guy, Jeff Foxworthy, where it's like an act. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's different. It's not it's not an alias. All right, so we're going into the Cortillejo.
So we're going into the Cortillejo now. Now the Cortillejo. Now I will say this: the last time I had a bottle,
you're educated on this.
last time I had a bottle of the Reposado, it didn't taste very good.
Yeah, you said that. You said,
and I was like, I don't know what happened to it.
Overproduction?
Yeah, I don't know. It could have been production. It could have been
bad batch.
I don't know, but I never had a bad bottle, and I just had one.
Yeah.
So I've been wanting to try this, but then when tequila talk started, I was like, I need to keep it. I'm going to wait off and see if we can find it, for this and see. Tastes tobacco-y.
Yeah. It's different coming off that Who Songs.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the Who Songs.
No.
It's good.
It is
It's
good.
good.
Don't get me wrong, it's good.
That's the worst thing about this.
Yeah.
It's like they're all good in their own. They're all good in their own room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you put them all in a room together, you're like, fuck.
It's kind of like the ugly girl who's really not that ugly when you put her next to the real ugly girl. Yeah, exactly. Have you seen her sister? Oh, my God.
Damn, dude. No,
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah, but it's strong.
But you were mentioning you had a bottle that wasn't good, and I think just knowing what I know from like brewing beer, which is nothing like distilling. I mean, there is some similar processes within distilling. Making a product the exact same way and keeping that quality every time, that is like the toughest shit.
Well, how have y'all got? So you got the Linwood Light. That's like your staple. That's like your Miller Light.
Yeah, Linwood Light and Don Pablo.
How do you get that stuff to be consistent?
Man, you hope and pray. You use the same ingredients, and you never know. Like,
Yeah, but what if the temperature's off one day?
exactly,
or something? Yeah.
exactly, or the tap, the brewery just humidity or whatever it is, or the brewer did something a minute too late or too early, and it just creates, or you pitched your yeast when you shouldn't have. So I think, it happens.
Okay, this is going to sound weird. This reminds me of chewing on a pencil in school.
Damn, that makes my nipples hard when you say that. Not in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get chill bumps. Like, fuck.
But when you chew on a pencil in school, like that, I don't know if it's the wood, could be the wood in the pencil, because this was back when, they made pencils out of wood, not fiber. But there's a tanginess to it that tastes. It's just very woody. This tastes.
There's some wood in there for sure.
Yeah,
it tastes like it come off my barbecue pit.
Yeah, it got some oak for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I like it. It's good, but that Houston still it's taking the win right now for sure, man.
Yeah,
like distinctively,
definitely been much.
You know
better.
what I've been caught up on since we had that last that Tres Generones, or how you pronounce that? I believe I might be.
Oh, the Casa Dragones?
No,
Tres
Generones. Yeah, that one I've been drinking that. Like I've seen it. They have a Crystalina version of it, Anejo, and I've been drinking it. Like if I go somewhere, I love that shit. It's good, man.
You like it?
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess, and you said it's been around forever. Y'all said they just rebranded it.
Okay, then they rebranded it.
Yeah, it was really weird. I don't.
Yeah, they.
know.
It's weird.
I don't know why they
good.
rebranded it, because the original was gorgeous. The bottle was
Oh yeah, it had
amazing.
like the top of it kind of looked like a copper steel.
It looked like a genie bottle. It was
It's
really
good,
nice.
though. I mean, I've been drinking it, and if I go anywhere and see it, that's what I'll get.
Yeah.
Like-
And that's the thing too, is it's almost like, all of this I enjoy drinking. However, sometimes really I just want a little bit of the Sam's Club Silver with
Yeah, I wear that shit out.
with some V8 fruit juice. Sometimes that's all I want. I just want a little bit of thing. I don't want to sit there and, sip a cognac or, sip it. And sometimes it's just like, you know what? I just want to drink. And lately, I mean, I haven't had as much to drink lately as I usually do, because apparently I'm a mechanic now.
Yeah, did you get your vehicle
not
torn
yet.
down and rebuilt?
Not yet. I'm not telling you, but I'll tell you this story too. I have that Infinity, that QX, my black one, my Vader. I love it. I got a great deal on it, and the fuel pump, the high pressure fuel pump, went out on it, and it has a direct injection, so there's a cam that lifts and lowers a bucket that creates pressure. Well, apparently, I didn't know this, but that's something that goes out on those trucks.
Yeah.
Okay. And mine's is like a 2012. So from 2011 to 2013, this was a problem. They actually had a recall on it. But I guess the guy who owned it before me never went and got it done. So I put about 70,000 miles on it. And so it went out. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to take it to the dealership. And this is nothing against the dealership or anything like that, but I wanted them to put it on their computers.
Right.
I wanted to know for sure what it was. So they came back. They told me, okay, well, it is a high pressure fuel pump, and they're recommending you go ahead and replace the timing chains anyways because they're going to be in there to do it because you have to take this whole thing apart just to get to that to the pump, right? I'm like, okay, and so I said, well, how much is that? And she's like. And like 5 minutes of this, I'm like, how much fun? So okay. And she said, it's $8,500. And that's exactly what I said. Yep. And she's like, now as a service advisor, I would advise. I'm like, what? She's like, I advise you trade it in. I'm like, that's not going to happen. No. Yeah. So I thought about it. I talked to Cheryl about it. I said, well, you know what? I'll do it.
Yep.
I'll do it myself. And I tried to find a mechanic around town. No one will touch it.
Yeah.
Because it's about a 22-hour job.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to tie up a bay
exactly,
for that long because there's so many people, they're 2 to 3 weeks behind now. So luckily with Cheryl staying home, we have an extra car. But I'm taking my time. I'm doing it. I'm taking it apart. It's a lot of work because it's a 4-wheel drive. Okay. So in order to get the upper oil pan out, I actually have to take off the suspension. Yep. I have to take off the drive, the front drive, and I actually have to take off the steering column or the power steering. But I've been working on it for about a month, and I work on it a couple hours each day, and I'm already down to the point where I've got the crankcase off, I've got everything off. I've realized with the proper tools, you can do any job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So you can. And I have the service manual too, so that helps.
Well, in the ages of YouTube too.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Yeah, that helps out. That helps a lot. And I've actually thought about filming what I'm doing because I've seen so many people ask questions about this specific vehicle.
You should.
And a lot of people are like, well, I did this and I'm like that. And I did that the first time. I actually just changed the lift the first time.
Yeah.
So I was able to do it. Well, problem is the cam itself had a little bit of etching on it. So it was like a piece of sandpaper.
Yep.
And it just ripped right through it and bam. It was like that didn't do anything. I could run it for about 140 miles and then it went out. Yep. So right now in my, I wish I had a lift. It'd be a lot easier if I had a lift, but I don't have a lift. But I've got it down to the point I've ordered all my timing chains, I've ordered all my seals, I've ordered everything. So an $8,500 job at the dealership is going to probably end up costing me about $1,200 and a lot of hours.
Right. So that's what always makes up because it's always funny like when you have a major repair and they're like rear main seal. Oh, it's only $60. Yeah, but you have to take the entire transmission off of the motor, and then tie up an 8-hour job. And then it turns out to be a $2,000 job, even though the part's $60. I always see that funny because I'm always in the buy and flip because I buy vehicles, fix them up, and flip them. And I see these people like, oh, I got this, but this is leaking, but I got the part. It's only $60, whatever. I'm like, no. Yeah.
So when I'm doing that, I don't drink. Because I don't want to get in there and take something out and go, where the hell did this screw go? I don't know. I got 5 screws left over and a crank gear. So I've been taking my time with it. And every time I put bolts back where they are, I've actually got everything in bags. I've got them labeled. I've got everything done. I've got to take pictures of everything because I don't want to do it again. Yeah. But this will give me another couple 100,000 miles on my truck. And I love it. My Butterbean loves the truck. Every time he comes to me, I was like, Papa, is it truck? Where's Papa's truck? Can we go Papa's truck? Papa's truck? Because it's got TVs in the back, and so he loves listening, watching movies and stuff. And I'm like, no, baby, I'm going to fix it for you, though. I promise I'm going to fix. So it's like, okay, first of all, I can't trade it in because my grandson will disown me if I trade it in. He'll be like, where's your truck, Papa? But secondly, too, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And it's like a marriage. My wife's in the other room. But it's like a marriage, You can say, hey, we can work on it. We can fix it. We've got a lot into it, but let's make it so that we can do another 20, 40 years in it, and while we're on the subject, I had a whole bunch of people posted pictures of going on these marriage retreats. What the hell's a marriage retreat?
I don't know anything, bro. Okay. I'm 1 year into marriage. I don't know nothing.
You know
about
what?
that.
And a lot of it is.
How long you been married?
A lot of it is. And no offense to churches, but a lot of churches say, "Oh, we're going to go on a marriage retreat."
That's it. Yeah, it's a group thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? My wife and I didn't have time for a marriage retreat. Mm-hmm. Our marriage retreat was when we put the kids to bed, and that's when we talked.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, and we hashed our shit out. And we decided, okay, this is where we're at. Let's take another day. Yeah. But you got the people going off. We're going to go to Dallas for a weekend and for a marriage retreat. No, you're not. You can leave your kids with the grandparents and you can go out and have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just say what it is. Yeah. Don't be acting like, oh, well, this is to build our marriage. If it was to build your marriage, you wouldn't be standing there posting these pictures online, how happy you are at a marriage retreat. Yeah. You'd be standing there like one of you like this, the other one like that, going like this. That would be a marriage retreat.
Working shit out.
Yeah, that's marriage retreat.
But I think that's one of the issues with social media too, is that everybody's just creating this false narrative.
God, I hate
And I
social
think, like, me and my wife, like, from the get-go, we always kind of talked about that, and it was like, if you feel a certain way, don't post it on Facebook. Just fucking tell me about it.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
There's
yes.
so many people that use it their outlet for. It's like a low key emotional dumpster,
Right.
bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or they want,
here,
like,
did you try some?
Yeah. Josh didn't get in this Cortillejo.
or they want, like, an acceptance from somebody or, like, an approval from somebody, and it's like, dude. Like,
or like someone else is feeling this. Let me give
Yeah.
No, I mean, dude. That's one thing I've learned. I was single so long, and then finally found someone that I connected with that puts up with my shit, and also that we share something together.
Yeah.
And it's like when you realize that communication is the most important thing in your life.
God,
like literally,
yeah.
if you think about this, none of us could have successful businesses. You
Right.
wouldn't have good clients. You wouldn't have good anything.
Yeah.
If you didn't have communication. So
Right.
why wouldn't you not have it in a relationship?
Exactly.
Well,
No,
my wife
that's
and I drove
absolutely
here.
True.
We drove here and barely said a word to each other,
Yeah.
and we were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a sign treatment. It was like there's nothing that needs to be said.
Yeah.
We're just going to what we're going to do. You know, if I have to say
I
something,
think it's going to be different on the way home, though.
Yeah.
No, I'm quieter on the way home unless I drink something that I think is water.
Yeah, it's just like I see shit all the time, and they're like, people post these pictures of, and it's like of their significant other, and they're just like fucking cooking or something, and it's
It's like, oh, the love. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Love this person so much. See all the stuff he does for me, blah blah blah, and it's like, fuck, we do that every fucking day.
Well, no,
we got kids
I ain't
screaming
got
in the
time for this
background. The
shit, yeah.
reality is like it's not. That's
And
not.
the thing is, like, the people that feel like that they have to do a post on certain things, and
Right.
like they see someone do appreciation thing,
Yeah.
and they feel like they need to do it.
Right.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
oh, it's Son Appreciation Day. If
Yeah.
you know what, you go to look at any of my posts
Yeah.
about my boy.
And don't get me
I
wrong.
appreciate it.
There's times where like on a birthday or anniversary, you put some
you
shit
gotta
out
put it
there,
up, yeah.
like,
But even that, people feel like obligated. I don't think you should have to do that. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like, I think,
True,
I
true,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
people
And don't put your real birthday because you get identity theft.
Yeah.
Don't ever put your real birthday.
we talked about that
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
You're
Damn,
not,
I'm
yeah,
fucked.
you could easily.
Yeah.
Well,
Mine's
especially
is
if
not on mine.
Especially if you do it in your email and stuff, you don't want to put all your real information. If
Yeah.
it's a free email,
Yeah, yeah.
If it's like a
Okay.
Gmail or something,
Gotcha.
you don't want to put all your free shit because they'll use that and spam you. But anyways, yeah, I mean, like people feel like that they've created this thing to where they have to like some person does it, so they feel like they have to do it to feel like they're
Yeah.
Okay. Baby announcements.
oh
Okay.
the fucking
Yeah.
gender reveals.
Gender
thing? Oh, that
reveals.
shit gets on my
I hate
nerves,
a
bro. That
fucking
shit gets on my
gotten-
fucking nerves.
dude.
So out of hand.
I can't stand that shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Did y'all do one?
Our gender.
No, hell
I didn't
no.
do it.
You know what our gender reveal was? It was when they did the ultrasound and look, that's his penis. That was our gender
Yeah.
reveal. It's a boy.
We did one, and not like it wasn't a party. So basically, we popped a little thing. But
Yeah.
it was me, Leanne, and Zoe in our backyard, just
Yeah.
for us three. And
Yeah.
like her sister-in-law did it. Like kind of filled like this tube for us, but there wasn't like
Y'all
a
didn't do a
fucking
fucking party.
party. There wasn't
My
a
fucking
photo shoot
and I
involved.
feel bad if they listen to shit, but I remember like my stepmom saying so and so we're going to do a party, or maybe it was her or another family member, and I looked at my wife and she's like, "Fuck no, we're not going to this shit." I was like, "I'm not fucking going to that shit either." Like,
yeah. I went to one a while back for a close friend of mine, and it was just like he already fucking knew, and he told me before
Yeah.
the shit popped off. So I was like,
what's the point? It's all
Yeah,
for
it's like,
accolades,
dude.
bro. It's just like,
And I gotta ask myself, if there was no social media, would they give as much a damn about it?
no, man. So everyone just wants some attention, bro.
Yeah.
It's just all attention, man. We're at this point now. We are very like we said earlier. We have a short attention span, so people just want to keep someone's attention. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what they are. And like the worst is our parents. Like, did your parents get on social media?
no, thank
Dude,
God.
well, I fucked up and let my mom on one. So I created this beast, right? So like, and it happens a lot with people that are in their 40s to 60s, like that never had the platform. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
like, my stepdad started a business, and I was like, "I'll build you a business page. I'm gonna help you." Damn, we didn't even go to the next one. You're just gonna double down on that one.
Come on, man, open it up. Let's go.
And I said, "I'm gonna build you a business page," and my mom's like, "Well, my stepdad didn't know how to run it, so my mom's like, well, just set me up, and I'll do the stuff on
Yeah.
it." So I built her a Facebook, and I was like, "Here you go." Oh fuck! It was the worst thing I ever could have done,
Yeah.
man.
They are not afraid to say what they think.
Well, no,
Yeah.
but they share everything.
But they
It's
also
like-
believe everything.
Yeah, they-
Oh my
It's
God.
It's like
They
that is the
share this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like,
Yeah.
that is the
Hitler's still
fakest
alive.
fucking post that I've ever
Yeah.
seen. And someone's
Yeah.
like, see, here it is, facts.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God. Somebody said it out loud. It must be
Yeah.
true.
All right, so
Yeah.
Cormino, Gran Cormino.
You okay over there?
Reposado, Cristalino. Making it over there, guys? All right, Cristalino coming at you.
I think your liver is screaming right about now.
Yeah,
It's-
dude.
Go ahead. But no, I found myself too becoming very jaded with a lot of things because I had seen, in fact, let me tell you, they're remaking A League of Their Own into a TV series.
The movie. That's the one with Rosie?
Yeah, that with the girls, right?
Yeah,
That's a great fucking movie.
Yeah. It's an incredible movie, right? Well, in this series, I've saw the previews, and there's a couple things in there like, I'm going to talk about it. But there's a couple things in there that would never have gone on at that time publicly or openly.
Right. Well, when is the time set now? Is it set
it's still set in the exact same time.
So it's set in a throwback time with different agendas.
With different agendas. Okay. And I'm almost like, you know what? Obviously Disney wrote this shit because they're writing a history that they feel is the way it should have been, okay? And then I actually said, okay, this makes no sense. They're showing the stuff in a reality that's couldn't possibly have happened that way. And then somebody said, well, Gina Davis said this is how it really was. I was like, well, fuck, if Gina Davis said that's how it really was, and that must have been how it really was, wasn't it? And then a buddy of mine I went to school with who's super liberal. Him and I, we love each other, but we don't see eye to eye on things. He's like, get off my lawn. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'm feeling like that old man because people are forgetting that truth is truth.
Yeah.
Okay. You can try to change it. You can try to say, hey, we're going to, if you don't like that era, then don't visit that era.
Yeah.
Don't revisit that era. Rewrite something in a current time, in a current thing, and don't make something that is already done.
It's happened with everything, right?
I know, I hate it.
We've ran out of ideas in Hollywood. We've run out of ideas in music. We
haven't run out of ideas.
Well, they've run out
of the ability to think for themselves, and because nobody wants to go out on that limb and go, let's try something different.
Yeah. So they're just recreating the same shit with a different narrative.
Yeah.
Let's try this stuff.
All right. Cheers.
Ooh, it's loud.
Yeah.
It snuck up on me. That's a lot of flavor going on.
Man, I like that. I do.
That's some good shit, man. It's got some vanilla going on.
It's very vanilla-y. And that must be from the distillation of when they go back and they refilter it.
Yeah.
I'm
Is that through charcoal?
It must be through charcoal or something like that, or fish eggs or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So crystal clear Reposado tequila, double filter for smoothness with notes of vanilla, caramel, and honey.
So it's a Reposado that's been...
It's a Reposado
not
that's...
an Anejo that's been...
Yes.
Okay. Did you try some? Have you blinked? Have you blinked at all in the last 20 minutes?
No.
But anyway, so back to the thing is God, that's good. As I said, my comment was kind of like, okay, I keep forgetting that this is fiction. Okay, this is all fiction.
Right.
And again, if I don't like it, don't watch it. So I actually have to take my own advice and go, you know what? I'm not going to watch it because I don't believe. There's a lot of things that I want to support, but then there's other things I don't want to support because what's going to happen is you're going to get to a point where you forget reality, and your reality is this false narrative or this thing that you've thought is real, and then you're screwed when reality actually hits you in the face.
Isn't social media already kind of that?
Well, isn't Hollywood kind of that?
Yeah.
Look at not just this generation. Okay. So look at this.
Okay, it's been that way forever. However, there's more people today telling them what they want to see.
Yep.
Not them saying, you know what we think people would like to see? Let's create something nobody's ever seen before. Let's create, Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It's so freaking incredible because it hasn't been done to death.
It's amazing.
Exactly. And I read something on why Top Gun was such a great movie. Have you seen Top Gun?
Maverick? I haven't. The original?
No, the new one.
No, I haven't seen the new one yet. I want to, but
have you seen it? Okay.
I was waiting to take I didn't want to take the kids. I didn't want to take me and the wife to go, but I hadn't seen it yet.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Somebody posted something about why it was such a great movie. And the reason it's such a great movie is because there is no narrative.
Man.
There's no there is an enemy. Yeah. There is a good guy, and there is human beings.
And they started before COVID. They started production on that movie before COVID.
They started, but the thing about
I was just saying,
the thing about it is, you don't go, oh my God, of course he's Puerto Rican.
Right.
Of course he's Puerto Rican.
What I'm saying is they started that before all this started unfolding. Mm-hmm. And I think that all the attention the worst thing that could have happened to us socially is that pandemic and everyone putting too much attention on the dumbest shit. And I think
nothing else to do.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It just is what it is. But I think that script and everything was already laid out before COVID.
Yeah, you're right.
And
That's
they
good.
fulfilled it.
Yeah.
They did
Yeah.
do something. I know there was an issue with the flag, the Taiwanese flag being on the. I don't know if you heard about all that.
I don't
but
hear
there was
about
a whole
that,
issue
but-
about that. But yeah, other than that, I mean,
Yeah.
they stuck to their guns on that production.
Yeah. But-
and I think that made a difference. And I think
What's crazy too is that like with the time and era, we keep talking about social media and we talk about like all the access that people have to things. And what's good and bad about this though is that you are able, and I think we also spoke on like the rise of comedy while comedy's back.
Yeah.
And we related it to podcasts and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And it's because first of all, they're very outspoken people.
yeah.
Whether I think all comedy comes from certain truths.
And they're always against the grain,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's always some
Yeah.
kind of underlying issue.
All comedy comes from certain truths, but also there's so much content on everything. So you're very easily able, sometimes even without wanting to, due to how these algorithms are figured out, find people that are like-minded to what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And what I say is that's good or bad, because the good is that you have a community that you can relate to people on certain things. The bad is that now, if that certain thing isn't exactly the right thing, now you're, full on to something that you get what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
it's
a bad thing about it is you can believe something and then you can go find something that'll support that belief.
Oh yeah,
Whether
100%.
it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
You'll find something that'll support that belief, and then you'll lock onto it.
Yeah.
For example, somebody who's maybe not healthy, okay, but somebody tells them,
dude,
"Oh,
don't get me fucking
you're
started on
this,
this.
you're this, and you're
Don't get me started on this shit.
you're this, and you're that." And who do they believe? They don't believe their
Bro.
doctor. They don't believe the thing. They believe the
I mean,
person who
that's-
told them.
That's anything
Boom.
though. Anytime you fucking have the sniffles and you go on WebMD and you can find a reason to believe
Yeah.
you're fucking dying.
Yeah.
You know, like-
Exactly. So, but if you want to believe something, if you want to believe that, I want to believe that Hitler's alive, you'll go find it.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to believe that slavery never existed. I want to believe that Mexicans really did help them. At the Alamo. You'll find somebody who said, "Oh, we have proof that Jesus Lozoya helped them." At the Alamo. So you can always find what you're looking for if that's what you want to find. If you want to find truth, then you're going to have to get it
You
from
gotta
a
look
lot
hard.
of different.
You got to find a lot.
You're
of
going to
sources,
find from a lot of different
And you gotta
opposing
fact-
views.
You got to fact check. You got to fact
Opposing
check.
views are the only way you find.
kinda
And so
hard
it goes
these
back.
days.
It goes back to people being they want something immediately.
Yeah.
So the first thing they search for and read, that's the truth, and they fight against it.
And that's
With
why
absolutely-
Google is so
Google
good.
loves it. Google loves it. They're playing on. Look, man, it's an attention game. And the thing is, they're going to double down on that because they're lazy, right? They're lazy. We're a lazy society. I mean, to the root. And here's another thing: we love to be told what to do.
Yeah.
We really do. as a
We'd love to
society.
be told what to think.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
getting to. Like, that's what I'm getting at. So, like, if everything's easy, if the information accessible is easy, and that's what we latch on to, and then someone comes along and there's 20 people saying this is the right thing, and this one person over here says no, but hold on. Well, these 20, it's easier just to go with the crowd instead of to go against the grain to really find the truth.
Well,
but hasn't that always been the thing?
Yeah.
What happened when anything happened, like when segregation was a huge issue, you know what I mean? Like, and when Martin Luther King was against, everything, any of those things, like it takes a long time to go against the grain and get those people together and bring attention to someone and say, hey, this is what's really going on.
Right.
Here's why it's an issue.
But also, I think the issue is that certain people, like, there could be a difference of opinions, and people are so quick. Like, you could be stating your opinion to me, and there's a lot of people that are listening to your opinion and formulating an argument.
The two of them are not going to be upset. Okay.
Immediately.
So that they can formulate an argument against it, instead of like listen to your opinion and think, you know what, maybe there is some valid points to what he's saying.
Well, Mark Twain said that when you find yourself agreeing with the majority, you need to rethink what you're thinking.
Right.
Because the majority in a vote, but the majority itself is not always right. No. It's a lot of it is just what's easy, what's easier to do. And I think, and this is one thing that I've noticed with child raising in this time and age and time.
Fuck, dude.
Okay. with social media and everything, you get a lot of people who have very young children, and they say, I saw blah, blah, blah on blah, 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 and they said blah, blah, blah. Okay. My wife has had 3 children, okay, given birth naturally. No drugs. She's a monster, okay? I believe what she says about parenthood more than a 15-second TikTok or something stream from some girl on Instagram or some lady about how to raise your child, mom hacks, stuff like that. No, that is not how you learn how to raise a child. That's how you learn to have a quick solution to a short-term problem. However, down the road, if you're not careful, this little thing that you're just kind of letting slide or letting go is going to blow up and become unfixable.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you have to not raise your children and what's funny is you'll hear one thing one day and then, you should not give your child this type of yogurt. And then the next day, this yogurt, they found this yogurt, it's fine. Yeah. Oh my God, I threw away all that yogurt. Yeah. So really a lot of it is we've forgotten, like you said, we've forgotten how to think for ourselves.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I mean, I think it's like anything. Every child is different. Every situation is different. And I don't think there's a fucking rule book or guidelines for everything. I mean, life is like that. You got to kind of roll with the fucking punches.
Well,
that should be everything.
No two people are the same.
Exactly.
So, why put everything in a box? But unfortunately, it just is what it is, man. I think that, I don't know. We're fucking doomed, bro. Yeah. We're doomed. We'll just be fighting the fight. You know what I mean? But we're doomed. It is what it is.
Well,
there's no turning back as long as the access to information and then someone taking that access and manipulating people it always has existed. It existed from the time all the way back to fucking Hitler.
Yeah.
You created an idea, getting someone behind it, and then getting enough people behind it, and then manipulating them constantly until they're formulated to your cause.
Right.
Yeah.
It just is what the fuck it is. No matter whether it's social media or whether it's fucking that took a lot longer for that individual.
Yeah.
Because he had to start at college as a professor and slowly grow that woke, those people who are young and sponges and taking all that information in, and then eventually transferring that into a fucking piece of power that's literally segregating people and fucking slaughtering people.
Yeah, and that's the perfect example that this guy literally committed the worst fucking thing that we could imagine on this earth, and there was people that fucking supported it. And I mean, slavery, the same thing.
But
people supported that, and it was it's such a horrible fucking thing.
Yep. It's enough people together with the same idea creates chaos, and it is what it is, man. So
well, and there's a lot to be said about. I'm saying how I can put this delicately. When people believe something, there was a time when we thought before we spoke.
Yeah.
There was a time when we didn't say something because we get our teeth punched. Okay. There was a time when we just kept our mouth shut because I don't want none of this. And the older generation understands that. I think there's certain times that because of what's going on with social media, you don't have to keep your mouth shut. You can just type this. And it's a lot easier to do this than to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
And so everybody thinks that what they think everybody wants to hear, but nobody gives a shit. What they want to know is what you think about what they said. And so understanding that keeping your mouth shut is the same as going, I'm not going to comment on that. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to go there. As much as it pisses me off that people think this way or people act this way or people actually believe this, nothing I say or type is going to change their mind, and I need to just walk away from it.
The best thing you could do.
Yeah.
And that. Yeah. But that's the thing that we understand as older people, which I don't think a lot of younger.
But I think part of me also understands the beauty of people being able to express whether you agree with that or not.
I like both.
Yeah,
I like both,
whether you agree or not, the beauty of being able to express how you fucking feel.
Yeah,
yes,
is a good thing.
Here's the one thing. So you put that. All right, so let's take it back to high school. Everyone can relate with high school politics, right? I mean, everyone can. There's the cliques.
Yeah.
It's literally like society, but you put it down into a box.
Yeah.
So you have your popular kids, you have your nerds, you have your band kids, you have your athletes, you have your emo kids, and you have, just the outcasts.
Yeah.
We are that in society.
Yeah.
And what happens is we have these cliques of people pushing their ideologies on other people, and then 1 month this takes over.
Yeah.
And then, well, fuck, we don't agree with that. And then the next month, this other one takes over. And they continually cross up and nothing ever aligns. And like, no one's sitting down and have a conversation. They're like, if you don't agree with this, then you're the enemy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that like cohesively, once you get all those people together and you take all those opinions away and we're just like here to hang out and have a dinner, have a drink, this shit goes away.
Right.
But like everyone walks in with a fucking guard up.
Yeah.
In every room right now. And I'm saying like figuratively, like if they walk in like digitally or whatever, they're walking into, before they pick this phone up and make a post, they're literally worried about if I say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing or put the wrong picture, what's someone going to think of me?
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Well, it is.
That is a fucking problem. And it goes back to the insecurities of us being in high school.
Yeah.
What of our cliques going to think if we do this? What if we hang out with a band nerd?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then our fucking, you see what I'm saying? Because I was that person. I was kind of mixed in between all of them.
Yeah. Well, I think it was Budweiser that did a commercial many years ago. I think it was Budweiser. I could be wrong, but they had two people go into a room, and there was instructions to say you need to build this, and it was a bar. They built a bar, and they had a drink together. And then, like, one of them was, for example, gay.
Yeah.
And the other one didn't oppose being gay. Well, before they actually knew anything about each other, they had to work together as a team to do that. And what did they do? They had a conversation.
Yep.
Because they respected each other, because they said, okay, you and I both just went through the exact same thing. We worked as a team, and we know that as individuals, we can do this. So let's have a discussion. Did that mean that guy was ready to embrace her? No. Did that mean that she was ready to agree with him? No. But it at least meant that they respected their opinion, and they knew that whatever they were saying was not out of hate. It was not out of, as a person, I'm mad. No, it was just how they believed. And if it means that somebody changes their mind, great. The best thing in the world is the ability to change your mind.
Yeah.
Always be able to change your mind. So, things like that. If we can come together on a common ground and say, okay, we've done this. We know that as a person, I can have you in my house. We can have a drink. We can have this. We can have that. My friend, for example, okay, he unfriended me after Trump got elected, okay, because and this is the craziest thing about it. He unfriended me because he thought that he was like defending the Mexicans. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm Mexican. What are you talking about? You stupid liberal dumbass. Okay. So, and I'm like, no, Mexicans are fine. It's the illegals who are shaking in their boots, and he's like, oh, I got to unfriend. I'm like, do whatever you want, man. I don't care. It's cool. But I mean, we've since, become friends, stuff like that. But, we grew up together in high school. Yeah. We were bandmates. We were, so we all have as we grow and we all have different experiences, we decide what we believe because I went through this. This is why I believe this. Okay. This is why I believe, you need to change your oil every 3,000 miles, because I had to change my timing chains because I only change them every 6,000 miles, even though the manual says 7,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we all, if you're willing to understand where a person's coming from their point of view, then you can say, if it's like, for example, somebody who's saying something about veteran affairs or stuff like that, and somebody's arguing with them. Okay, well, question: are you a veteran? Have you been to the VA? Have you gone to the thing? Yes, I have. Okay, then I believe you before I believe the person that's arguing with you about it.
But, I mean, I think the problem with that is politics.
Well,
politics is such an issue to me. Like, I'm sorry.
Okay, define politics.
I can't stand any of it.
Yeah, just politicians in general.
Well, okay, take politicians out of it. Take politicians out of it and have individuals with a belief. Okay, for example,
But a lot of times people follow a person and they align their beliefs
with that person.
Okay. If somebody came to you and said, "Look, I'm dating this beautiful woman. She's got a kid already. I just don't know if I want to do that." What would you tell them?
It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Exactly. Why? Now, before you met your wife and did that, you might have been like, "Bro, I don't know. It's a lot of baggage." Yeah. But why would they respect your opinion more than somebody else's?
Because I've been through it.
Thank you.
Exactly.
No, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying what you said was wrong. I'm saying that, like, sometimes it's like people formulate their opinions on the crowd that they're.
Yeah, of course.
And
okay, so the opposition of the person who's got.
And sometimes the thing is that, like, there's right. I think that there's right on both sides. Like,
there's right on
both of them
side.
to an extent are are
the first
right, regardless of it. And it's created this world where it's like, what is that?
That's the first one, bro.
Come on in and taste it.
What happened to that?
We had every,
Yeah. I don't know. I think
we'll cut it with a knife.
Yeah.
If you were to try to explain any of this bullshit going on right now to your immigrant parents, what would they say?
I don't even want to think about it.
No, but I mean, just say, what do you think they would say? Like, if you explain all this shit we just talked about for 30 minutes, what do you think you're...
First of all, they wouldn't be happy because I'm drinking.
No, I'm talking about like the
tequila.
conversation.
Yeah.
The subject matter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It'd be...
I don't think it would be an issue.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I think that we are literally, as a society, creating our own fucking chaos that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, I think what I'm trying to say is that I hate that the current political landscape, the current world has created this scenario where you have to fit into mold A or mold B.
Yeah.
Because they can't.
Why can't I be the fuck
because
I wanna
Google cannot tell you what
you
you
know
want to
why?
buy.
It's that age old. It's because we've always done it that way.
be? Yeah.
The worst.
Well, here's the
thing
thing.
ever.
Here's the thing, though. We
Shit's
didn't
different.
used to have Google. We didn't used
Shit's
to have all this
different.
stuff.
No, but we've always done it A or B.
Right.
Well, we've always done it
always
A or
two
B
parties.
until we started dating C,
You're right. Exactly.
and then C showed us
Yeah.
that hey, there's another world out there. There's another way to do things, and that's a lot. That's a big problem with people. Somebody had said one time, yeah. America is the greatest country in the world until you visit other countries.
Yeah.
And you realize there's other things out there that other countries have that we don't have. Yeah, we've got freedom. We can say fuck you to our president. We can say whatever we want to say. You can't say that over there. You'll get shot. However, they have other things that people in our country are dying to have, like healthcare and all these other things. So, when you take a country that's living it, doing things the way they do, and you go, oh my God, this is actually kind of nice. It's kind of neat. And then you look at a country like Norway, okay, like they have free healthcare and they have all this other stuff. Yeah, it works for them. If you were to try to take that and multiply it exponentially to the U.S., it's impossible.
Yeah,
it's impossible to do it. So you can't compare the two.
We have something no one else has. We have the freedom to oppose or support our liberties. No one else has that anywhere in the world.
And I will say this, and this is just my statement, and I might get some backlash for this, whatever, but regardless of all the issues, everything that I've seen in my life with my parents, what I've been through, whatever, America is the greatest country on earth.
Yeah.
Because it affords you the luxury and the liberty to become something when you come from nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm a perfect example of that, and I've always preached that. Like, hey, my parents can come to this country not even speaking the fucking language, but it also kind of motivated me to be.
Yeah, but they understood that
today.
and they took advantage.
Well, I think
of that,
we all
which is
can.
good.
We all can relate to that. I was in Pine Creek Mobile Home Park, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that the people that are creating the noise are the people that are the ones that are privileged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No matter the race, no matter the religion, no matter the background, the noise being made here is the privileged fucking people.
It's like that movie.
It's not white privilege anymore. It's just privilege.
It's
in
like
general,
that. It's that movie Overboard that my wife and I love this line where he goes, "You're so bored you have to invent shit to bitch about."
Exactly. Fuck yes.
You just have to invent
what it is.
shit to bitch about.
The attention span is short. There's a lot of traction and attention behind opposition.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to ask you this because you're in with Hemingway West and everything and internet. How come all I see in my Facebook feed now are ads and films and none of my friends' posts?
Because Facebook is making money off of the advertising. So like Facebook used to be, it's just like Google. Google is not an internet search platform. It's an advertising company. Facebook is now, which is now Meta, is an advertising company. Yeah. Okay. They're not making money off your friends'
So
posts.
how do I make it so that I can see my friends' kids?
You have to interact with your friends.
Yeah.
So whenever he created this platform, he created it to be a conjunction of these college students interacting with each other. Basically a storyboard of each one of them talking about their classes and the professors and stuff like that. Somewhat of a glass door integrating social to that, right? So, like, where's the party going to be this weekend? Shit like
Yeah.
that. Well, if you do not interact with your friends' pictures and stuff like that, then you're not going to see them. And eventually they're going to become a ghost. And you'll think about it like, I hadn't seen so-and-so in a while, and you have to type it in and look
Yep.
it up.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I guarantee you the past 10 or 20 posts, you haven't interacted with them, so you're not going to see them. So it's kind of like a call to action deal. It's like if you want to see these people's posts, and even though you never supported them, like by clicking, then you're not going to organically because you haven't clicked.
Which sucks from like the business standpoint.
Yeah.
You know this because
Dude.
you're like, you make this post and you have 8,000. I have 8,000 fucking
matter.
people that like the 7th app, and it's like, what do you mean 100? This
Doesn't-
reached 150
Nope,
people.
doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean,
What
it's
do you mean?
been-
I got 2 likes. Like out of my 8,000 followers,
Yeah.
2 people
It's
like
because
this.
it's a business model,
Yeah.
and they want to make money off you. And if you're not advertising with them, you're not going to get the reach. It just is what it is. Like, well, here's the thing. Look, you're all asking me questions about something that you don't pay for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's free. You can't bitch about it.
Right.
What can you bitch about that's free? That's the one thing that we're fucked up. Even as we talk about all this entitlement and all this bullshit, you are literally both sitting here complaining about something that is a free utility.
yeah.
No, I'm saying
I am.
No, who's this privileged white boy talking to us about?
no, but I'm saying in a nutshell, no. I'm
No,
joking.
but I understand what you're
you
saying.
see what I'm saying?
Because
like,
I'm
it's
trying to
free.
understand. It's almost
fucked
like,
up.
because, and one thing I liked about, I definitely like Facebook because I could post pictures of my grandkid or my children and my mother could look at them and
Right.
go, so I don't have, my wife didn't have to print out pictures and send them to my
That's
grandkids.
great.
So that's all good. And
That's what it was created for.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's all, that's all well and good, but I have noticed, it's like I've spent a lot less time on it now than I used to because it's like, okay, I got to see some girl doing a dance. I got to see, all. I don't want to see this.
I use it. I use it to share just business stuff these days.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's all I use it for, man.
Yeah.
I think that, but still, at the end of the day, you have to pay. It's ridiculous. Or find some kind of hacked. And like when we got in this industry in 2015, Facebook launched its business platform. So before then, Facebook was strictly social. So when you first created a business profile on Facebook, initially in the first year or two, you got all the reach in the world.
Yeah.
If you posted something, you got it just like you posted your personal page. But they quickly realized that we can make money off this, and they want to charge you for it. And
Okay.
I mean, who are they
right.
who are they to not whenever they're giving you a free?
Now, my question for you, because you're so into this, Facebook is making horseshoes.
Mm-hmm.
Is there going to come a time where the guy making horseshoes is going to go, oh shit, there goes a car?
Yep.
And Facebook is going to become the horseshoe.
Yep. My pivot is always, I am constantly trying to be different and unique and double down on the personality of the person or the business that's promoting.
Yeah.
So I don't ever have to worry about what platform it is. I don't ever have to worry about if there is a platform. If I'm going to market someone, I'm going to get to know them, and we're going to figure out a fucking strategy based on what we have, what our needs are.
Do you
Whether
think
it's
another
paper-
platform? Do you think another platform could come in and do
No,
that?
at this
No.
point, I don't think so.
Okay.
At this point, I don't think. At this
No.
point now, I believe that Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok have become utilities. They're continuing to try to fight TikTok.
Well, TikTok is by everything. I mean, and again, I could be the idiot getting my sources from stuff, whatever. But from all walks, I've heard that TikTok is the fucking worst of them all.
It is. They're taking all your data. And
Yeah.
the thing is,
Yeah.
TikTok, it used to be Musical.ly, and
Yeah.
TikTok bought that company out, which is actually a Korean company, but owned by a Chinese company.
Yeah.
So they're collecting all of your data. And if you read all the terms and conditions, you'll see what they're
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
access to.
Yeah.
But if that utility goes away, we already have we created the same software within Instagram. Facebook has mimicked the software, so
Yeah.
Reels has it. Instagram
Yeah.
Reels the same software, pretty
Yeah.
much, without the
Right.
privacy concerns.
Right.
They say,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, if you're carrying one of these and you never read any of those laws and terms and conditions when you click them and you update these apps, it's your own fault.
Right.
And if you ever try to say they're taking my privacy, well, if you click that agree and you
Yeah.
didn't read it, technically it's on you.
Yeah, that's how HP and all those other printing companies do the same thing.
Man. It's on you.
Any
You're-
software you install on your computer, or
it's-
period.
They're going to have access to everything, and it's on you, no matter what. It just is what it is. Like, I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but and people. I love that you asked me that because people they say that all the time. It's like, well, Well, actually, I'm having this conversation with my partners. They're like, so and so. I'm like, look, one day this is going to go away. Like we develop websites and build them all the time. One day they're going to go away. In the next 5 years, you're probably not going to have a website anymore. It's just going to be something different.
Yeah.
Now, am I going to continue to keep doing that? No, I'm going to evolve. Like I'm going to change. Like I'm open ended. I'm just here to help people.
Now, does that frustrate you or does that excite you?
I love it. I'm fucking excited, dude.
That's
I'm so
awesome.
excited. I love being in the dirt.
The shit out of
Dude,
me.
I love it. I fucking, dude.
I mean,
I want my ass kicked.
From my end, it's just kind of one of those things. Like as a business owner, that handles our like branding, all our stuff. Like it's like trying to keep up. And I feel like as you. Like I said, like now that I'm older, like I feel like my parents sometimes where technology's fucking passing me up.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's not that I don't have the smarts
Stay off
for
my
it.
lawn.
It's
Yeah.
the fact that like I just care fucking
Let me give you
less.
one piece of advice. Never market the same on one platform as you did the other. Unfortunately,
I have heard that.
I'm telling you.
I've
Because
seen
each
that.
demographic is different.
Yeah.
And if you're not on LinkedIn yet, even though it's the fucking brewery, get on there.
Okay.
You need to. Because this reach issue you're having, you won't have it there. I'm telling you.
Yeah. LinkedIn.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
I flirted with it, but
I'm telling you. And,
I got on it.
One of our mutual contacts said that. They're like, because I posted all this shit on LinkedIn too.
Yeah.
They're like, unfortunately, Jose don't have a LinkedIn. I'm like, yeah, he needs to fucking get one.
Yeah, I look at mine like you have 41 missed notifications on LinkedIn. I'm like, I need to go look at my LinkedIn.
Yeah, no, but I'm telling you, like, well, there's so many users and not enough content.
Yeah.
So guess what? The content you put out is going to get so much more reach,
Right.
Because there's not enough content.
Okay.
Organically.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's the winner today?
I'm working on that. I just put some new songs behind
Let
that.
me try. Let me try.
Try some more Who songs. Yeah, see.
I was
Yeah.
putting
So, I
it
was gonna
behind
ask
that.
you,
Crystalina.
so we talk about content and stuff being oversaturated, all this other stuff.
God damn, they're both so good, man. I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. This podcast to me, I love it because more than just getting a sip tequila with two people that I really like and respect, it's almost become also kind of like a therapeutic thing because we sit here and we talk about whether it's differences or so it's almost become a therapeutic thing. So
Yeah.
like to you, like you who does this, like what is it for you?
This podcast, like
Yeah.
Tequila
No,
Talk or Frequency
just
Interrupted and
all of it.
All right,
in
so
general.
look, this started on me.
Yeah, by the way, just so you know, I'm going to be interviewing DJ on
Yeah,
Tequila
we're gonna do that
on
next- we're gonna do that
Frequency
next-
Interrupted.
and I say that. Let me say that because there's like we talked about people's reach and stuff. There are so many fucking podcasts.
Oh, I know,
today.
dude. All right, so there's literally 4 million
Yeah.
right now in circulation. So, like, for me, I created this thing thinking, I don't know, I was watching some Gary Vee shit. This is probably like 2019.
Gary fucking Vee.
2019
that guy is legit.
Yeah, but 2019. This is before COVID. This is for anything. I
Yeah.
was watching this shit. I was like, I can fucking do that.
Yeah.
And I have enough business network that I could create a podcast. We can talk about business. Well, I did that the first 3 or 4 episodes. Ben was on the very first episode with Will Harris, and so Will now does the same shit I do.
Yeah.
But
You do it so much better.
oh
No,
man,
just
come
kidding.
on. No man, dude, he's a great dude.
I used to play soccer with Will. Dude.
No, Will's a great guy, man. But so like,
Used to date my daughter. I win.
oh yeah, he's got to talk shit here.
Yeah.
So like, but like, I created it on the. So I figured I was like, okay, I can leverage this on the back of business. It also is a great reach for me.
Yeah.
And then I realized very quickly that I enjoyed having conversations like we're doing right now. And so for me, honestly, every time I sit down at this mic and someone across me gets excited, that gives me motivation for the next episode.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if this was going nowhere, I wouldn't keep doing it.
Right.
But like 3 or 4 episodes in, maybe 5 or 6, once I got kind of more social and less business, I ran into somebody who I barely knew. I can't remember who it was. It might have been down here in the East Bank. It was a dude we went to school with. I can't tell you his name off the top of our head, but he came up to me randomly. I don't fucking know his name, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, you got that podcast? And he's like, dude, don't stop.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I keep hearing that in my head.
Yeah.
So like if
That's awesome.
if one person listens to this shit and gets something out of it, even if it's us drunk rambling over tequila, like if they get something out of it, especially the ones I have with people who are like I just had one last week with Jessie Strawham, she's paraplegic now.
That was
She's
wild.
literally went through Tough Mudders and other things, and amazing conversation. Like, if somebody gets something out of that, dude, I got to keep doing it.
Yeah,
I got to.
You have had some awesome fucking guests on here.
Yeah, I mean, besides
honestly,
that, obviously, besides
and
that.
honestly,
y'all are great, man.
Yeah, but honestly, it's so the weird thing about it is sometimes he's had a lot of people on here that I fucking know. Like, I know these people,
Yeah.
but I don't fucking, you know.
But you
like,
didn't know what
I
anything about
didn't
them.
know these people.
Yeah. And the
You
one
know,
with
like-
Peanut.
Yeah.
That was a great
I haven't heard that one
podcast. I was cooking dinner. I was laughing. My wife was like, "What are you listening to?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "This
I need to
kid,
go
guy
back-
named Peanut." Okay.
I need to go back and listen to that one.
That's a
It
good
was
one.
great.
Yeah.
It was
shot
really
like 2
good.
weeks ago. It was
Yeah.
a good.
But they drank beer though, so those.
I didn't drink beer. I drink tequila.
amateurs.
Peanut drink beer.
Let me tell you this.
I did have one beer at the end. You're right. Thanks for calling it. It was horrible.
One of my goals in life, and I'm going to say it right here, one of my goals in life is I'm going to make a fucking beer that Peanut will drink instead of Coors Light. And I'm
That's your goal.
You know what? Then hey,
Yeah, I'm going to
What
do
are you
it.
going to call it?
I don't know.
Call it Peanut.
Light.
That's what you're gonna
I
call
don't know,
Peanut
but
Light.
we're-
There you go.
But we're going to do it.
Peanut
I
butter.
promise you, one of these days we're going to do it.
Damn,
But
man.
that's just, you
okay.
know.
So the winner today.
Dude, I can't. These two, look.
This is either for me. It's between the Tradicionale and the
Yeah.
Hosangs.
For me, is that Cristalino. Dude, I keep going with the Cristalino,
That
man.
shit's good.
I
man.
don't know what this happened last time, too. I don't know what it is about that. I'm about to get some more. Like, I'm literally, I'm going to do it, though.
It could be the sweetness of it, and we had talked about that we need to really research the sweetness of some of these tequilas because, for example, like a lot of tequilas that are very popular have sweeteners in them that have been added
Yeah, there's
after
some artificial flavors.
Yeah, artificial
And if
We
this
talked
does-
about that. That's the popularity of mezcal these days. That it's still very natural. It's still very raw.
If this does have this added, then that makes sense. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I would have to research it and see.
It's like a crisp, dude. It's like cane sugar. That's what I think.
It's like a Mexican Coke
Yeah.
versus an American Coke.
Yeah, those
Well, it's
Mexican
100%
Cokes.
agave, but it doesn't say, like, if there's additives or not.
Yeah. So the thing is, after it leaves Mexico,
Oh, here we go. I didn't see this. Aged in Eastern European barrels in California Cabernet wine cask.
Okay.
There you go.
I hate wine, but apparently
there you
I
go.
like it. Okay, so white women will really love this because
Yeah. Let's talk about your shirt.
Mexican women don't drink. Oh, you like my shirt?
Yes, I like
So my
it.
daughter Chelsea gave me this shirt. It says, "Dear Dad, great job. We're awesome." And there's my daughter Chelsea, who's my oldest. She's a jet engine mechanic for Southwest. There's me with tequila. She likes beer. My daughter Lindsay, who likes wine. And my son Sage, who ain't touched alcohol.
He don't drink.
Don't like it.
That's awesome.
I thought this was, and it says, "Thank you." And I love her. This was a great T-shirt. I told her I'd wear it for the next tequila.
That's
talk.
awesome, man.
Thank you for pointing it out. I
Hell
forgot to say
yeah,
about
dude.
it. But
I saw that when you walked in. I said,
Yeah, I
he's,
saw
always
that
got,
too.
he's always got a shirt, bro.
yeah, I always got a shirt. I'll have a next one. I'll have one for next one too. But
Kids to make me a shirt. Maybe.
One day, Jose,
Get
one
texting
day.
me
Oh,
about
you know-
money.
and here's the thing too is I will randomly send text messages to my daughters like I love you, I'm proud of you, keep it up. I know it's hard, things like that. And so,
What's their reaction when you do that?
well, a lot of times my oldest daughter Chelsea's like a little confused, I think sometimes, but she smiles, and
She's
and what's
like,
funny,
you on that tequila?
yeah, but it's funny. It's because Cheryl told me, she's like, you know what? She goes, Chelsea always gives you a Father's Day gift. She never gives me a Mother's Day gift. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. But they always give me something for Father's Day. And like Lindsay, especially with Lindsay, because she has such a high stress job, Lindsay, I mean, she's a nurse and she goes through so much. And I just always tell her, I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you. And sometimes I'll get a response, sometimes I won't, but it doesn't matter what they say to me. It's the fact that they know that I am proud of them.
Yeah.
And like my son, I'm forever proud of him, and he's got COVID right now. So he
shit.
he got COVID.
Damn.
He's like, oh, I got COVID.
First
But
time?
this
Which
is
one?
the second time.
Which one is this?
This is the second one. I don't know.
I
But he got it. He tested positive. He's like, it's not as bad as the first one,
Right.
but he's got lost
It is
snot.
not. I'll
He's
say
snotty,
that.
so,
It is not.
but he's not at work. He's not working right now. So he'll be out this week. But, from time to time, I'll tell him, I am so proud of you, because if you'd known him, I mean, he drives Ferraris around Dallas all day, every day. If you'd have known him before he graduated from college, you would have said, this kid is going to stay in his basement.
I met him
playing video games.
I thought that. No offense.
He's very introverted.
He was very introverted.
He's very introverted. He's very quiet.
And I believe you brought him to the meeting.
I brought him to a meeting one
and
time.
I was like, he's quiet, and that's what it seems
nothing
like.
like me.
No,
nothing like his dad.
Right. Yeah.
And so, but I'll tell him. But he has. I never threw him into, the reality of life. But I've always told him, look, if this is what you want to do, this is what you're going to have to do to get it. And he has built for himself relationships with hundreds of great people, which is why I wanted him to work at Ferrari, because he deals with people who own $1 million cars that you think would never believe that. And then he works with people who drive, a little Maserati, and they're in debt up to their eyeballs, and they act like they're millionaires.
Right.
So he understands that. But he drives through. He used to hate driving to school at LSUS.
Yeah.
He used to just to freak him out. The first time when I was training him or teaching him how to drive, and I took him on Benton Road, he had a panic attack. Okay, and I was like, "It's okay, come down."
So how does that make you feel to see that now? Because I think that, not to cut you off, but here's the thing that I'm excited about, because I've seen this in the background. And when he said meeting earlier, anyone listening and watching, we're not talking about AA, by the way. We're talking about a networking meeting.
yeah, exactly. BNI. Okay.
Yeah, but so like I've seen that he takes a lot of your passions, and he's grown upon your passions, and I feel like that's why you're so passionate, because you're so passionate about Ferraris.
Right.
You love the area he lives in. Well, he just happened to move to that area. You know what I mean? So I think that's awesome. I love it. I think it's great.
Well, I think
Did you see that happening?
No, I think what's weird is that I decided at some point in time that I'm done with wanting to live my dreams.
Right.
I want him.
He's carrying them on.
To live his dreams.
I can see it.
So that's why when he didn't go with the Disney College program, we talked to the guy in charge of Ferrari, and we got him into that program. And he's known him since he was 10. Yeah. And he's like, I would hire him in a minute, because he understands. I would trust him. And that's a big thing. You're going to give somebody's car to some 25, he's 26, almost 26 now. But still, when I was driving Lamborghinis, I used to get called. My boss used to call me into the office and go, we got a call from the sheriff that there was a Ferrari going down Dillingham at 100 miles an hour. I'm like, that wasn't me. He's like, you were the only one driving the Ferrari. Okay, well, you know what? I was trying to make sure. He's like, I was trying, you know what? I had Pete with me. I wanted to show him what the car does. He knows what the car does. So, but he is nothing like me. Okay. Yeah. But I will say this. I decided that there came a point in time in my life that I would never achieve the goals that I'd set for myself at that point in time. I mean, I may at some point in time, but I wanted him to be able to experience a life, no offense to Shreveport-Bossier, outside of Shreveport-Bossier. Yeah. To go out there and to do that. And now he lives in his own apartment. He doesn't have a roommate. He lives at the Flatiron District at Austin Ranch, which is gorgeous. He loves where he lives. He just bought himself his first piece of furniture, real furniture, because when he first moved into his apartment, we went to IKEA, and we bought $400 worth of furniture, including a bed. Yeah. Okay. And he was like, oh my God. Yeah. But we got all together. Well, he went and spent $1,200 on one chair. Good for him. Okay. And paid cash for it. Good for him. Okay. Man. And because he's like, I think this IKEA chair is hurting my back. I think it's hurting my back. But I mean, the dude's got so much money because he doesn't need to have somebody with him. Because I even asked him one time, I was like, Bear, I said, do you ever get lonely? Because I cry when I drop him off. I mean, I cry because I leave him, and I miss him. I love him to death. And I leave him. And he's like, I never get lonely. I love my life. I love my time. And so I have to realize, I have to come to a point, not from my point of view, but from his point of view, that he loves his life. And I even sent him something the other day that somebody said, hey, I'm not the same person I was in high school. Come re-meet me. And then somebody commented and said, I'm not the same person I was in high school, but I don't want to meet you.
Yeah.
And that's him. He's like, yeah, I'm exactly like that. I don't have to meet you. I'm happy who I am. And it actually made me have to realize that I always knew I wanted a family. I always knew I wanted children. I always knew I wanted a life that I never had. I had a horrible childhood, a lot of abuse, a lot of things, and I didn't want to. Let me put this delicately. I wanted to be able to correct the things that happened to me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to give to somebody, 1, 2, or 3 children, the life I wished I had had. Okay? And so that's what I felt I was able to do with that. And I could not be happier or prouder of my children for everything they've done and all that they've accomplished. And with him, when did we do the Anime Con? Did I tell you about that last time?
You told us about that last time.
Yeah. So we went and dressed up. So it's happening again. He's going to come to this one. But the fact that he allows me to be a part of this and
it's awesome.
he enjoys it is the greatest gift to me in my life. And I knew he would never excel in Shreveport-Bossier. Okay. My daughter, Lindsay, yes, be quiet because it's a medical field. This huge medical field. She wants to be a nurse. Guess what? You're in the right place.
Yeah.
Sage, no. Chelsea, no. Chelsea lives in Houston, loving life, living all that life. So I think that with him, understanding that I had to understand what made him happy. I wanted to make him be able to have that opportunity with Ferrari, to have that opportunity to have great friends. He loves what he does, and to understand that because he's alone doesn't mean he's lonely.
Yeah.
Right. That he actually likes that.
Yeah.
So,
but that's I feel like we always end it with kids, but it's just like I'm glad to hear these perspectives too, because as you know, I have a teenager and I have one that he just learned how to count to 10 and he's so happy about it. But it's a whirlwind of things. And
yeah.
Well, there's so many issues where parents project it's the worst thing with these kids and playing fucking baseball and shit. They project what they wish they could have done onto these children. And they create these complexes early on.
I need to say something about that.
But when you were saying all that, it just goes to show that you're doing the right things because you say what he's passionate about, I'm being a part of, instead of making him a part of what you're passionate about.
Right. Now, my grandson, I'm going to say this, okay? My grandson played T-ball, okay? A Wii ball is what they call it, okay? And what's really funny is my son-in-law is very successful in what he does, okay? And he's playing Wii ball, and one of the teams that we played against was, all the parents had matching uniforms with their kids, and every one of the fathers out on the field looked like they played ball before. And I'm like, they all look like ball players. And Lindsay, my daughter's like, yeah, they all played in high school. And then I went to my son-in-law and said, you know what's funny? I said, is all these guys who were really popular and played baseball in high school and everything, they work for you now. And he said, you're right, they do. I said, yes. Yeah. So it's not about that. It's about having values.
Yeah.
So I had to say that.
But, I think that's one thing, too. And you go back to business and stuff and the people that you meet and that you interact with, and comparison is the worst fucking thing.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
It is the worst fucking thing. And I learned it early on because I would always say, like, once I reach this level, I'm good. Once I reach this level, like, I'm fucking good.
Yeah.
Like I've made it once I hit this level, and there's always going to be someone so far fucking above you. And even people that and I've had to come to terms with that and just be like, worry about you and your fucking family. And if y'all are okay, then that's the only thing that matters.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is,
Well, I think I will say this. Your daughter was so proud to say, my daddy owns this place.
Yeah, she did. She ran up to
She was so proud to say that. And we were like, yes, he does. So whether you think she
wants to work for the tap one day, and it's just like,
she was showing her friends around like, this is my house. And y'all need to respect my...
The thing is, she would never tell me that.
And that's fine. That's okay. That's okay because, at some point in time, they're going to come back to you. And what's funny is I'll always send little texts to my daughter Lindsay, because I mean Chelsea's a tomboy. She's very she's not as emotional as Lindsay is. Mm-hmm. So I'll get like, 2 years ago this happened, or 10 years ago Lindsay posted this and said, "Daddy, I miss you," and I'll send it to her, and she goes, "I still do. I still miss you. I still love you." And so every child is different, just like every employee in your company is different. And I used to tell my dad, because my sister and I are so different, I used to tell my dad, "Look, you can raise two children exactly the same way. One will be a doctor, one will be a drug dealer."
Yep.
It has nothing to do with how you raise them. It was how you were able. It's how you were able to understand that child responded positively this way and negatively this way to something. You can't. There's no book that says do this with your child, because everybody's individual. Like you said, everybody's individual. Everybody's their own person. Everybody's their own thing. So don't try to say what worked with one works with the other, because it doesn't. The only thing that a child understands across the board is a little butt whooping. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that. And it's not talking about child abuse. It's talking about, look, hey,
it's attention.
Understand.
Attention. Hey,
understand.
Look,
yes.
There's no fucking life hack to parenting. There's only life hack to
but they
really
try. Yeah.
Look, the only hack that I know works is the one. Well, I still haven't tried this yet, but it looks complicated as fuck. Is the fitted sheet thing? Have you seen that shit?
No, I haven't seen that.
You can't fold a fitted sheet where you just roll it up into a fucking ball.
Oh, yeah.
Look, when I master that fucking fitted sheet hack, it's on, bro. It's fucking going down. But look, man, let's wrap this thing up.
Well, thank you, DJ, so much. I appreciate it. I was telling my wife, I said, when you had sent us the message this week saying this week, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. I've been so busy.
Yeah.
I've got 16 dogs and cats. My wife decided to take another cat in the house. So I've been so busy.
Are you talking about a feline or another female?
A kitten. Yeah, a kitten. Yeah, a kitten. Yeah, a kitten. And it was funny. I was working on my truck, and she saw a post on the neighborhood board that said, "There's a kitten. There's a kitten in my flower bed." And so I'm working on my truck. I'm in there. I'm all greasy. I look up, and she's got a cat in her arm. I'm just like, all right, let's do this. Busy, but I love my wife. But I love my wife because she loves unconditionally.
Yeah.
And I could learn a lot from her, and I do learn a lot from her. About patience, because we're keeping my daughter's dog, who's a little bit of a puppy, and he likes to yap every now and then, and I'm losing my mind. And she's like, I do that all day. I'm like, then you're more patient than me, because I could not handle that all day. So, my life consists of getting up in the morning. If I didn't have to feed dogs, I wouldn't get up in the morning. That's my life. I get up feeding animals. I feel like I'm on a farm. But I get up and I do that. And so when you said, "Oh, we're doing Tequila Talk this week," I'm like, is that already this week? I totally forgot. I've been so busy with the dogs and my truck and everything like that. But I'm glad. I appreciate this. I'm not as bad as I was the last time. I can remember going to the bathroom if I had to. But I will definitely say that, to me, that was the winner of today.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
They were all great tequilas. And so thank you for putting this on. Thank you for doing this and for continuing. And I love seeing you. Sometimes I see you when him and I are cooking. Sometimes I see you here, but I love that we speak openly and that we don't judge each other.
Nope.
That's the beauty of it.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, guys.
Salute.
That's a wrap.